Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the Marauder Network channel. My name is Nick. You may know me from another YouTube channel or my Instagram, Blue Jean Operator. YouTube decided that I was too dangerous to be kept alive, or at least close to it. They gave me multiple strikes in a week on multiple old videos that at the time that I uploaded them were not breaking any type of YouTube guidelines, but I think they have some type of AI system that automatically searches for bad gun stuff, and they gave me 2 strikes. So I couldn't upload any videos. 1 more strike and that channel is deleted. I saw the writing on the wall, so I decided to start another YouTube channel with a different name. This is something I wanted to do for a while, but YouTube kind of forced my hand because I wanted to start a channel that was a little bit more broad spectrum than Blue Jean Operator. I started Blue Jean Operator before I even started YouTube. That was like my original Instagram handle, and I just kind of followed that into my YouTube channel and stuck with it. And I had that name before I started getting involved with a lot of things that I'm involved with now, like Milsim West, which I got really heavily involved with. I literally work at that company full time. I've been to literally every single Milsim West for the past 5 years. I think I missed one, but other than that one, I've been to all of them. And spoiler alert, while I'm out there, I'm not wearing blue jeans. There's also other content that I wanted to do, more historical based stuff that didn't really fit the Blue Jean Operator brand. So I kind of shifted the name to something a little bit more broad spectrum, the Marauder Network. It's kind of a callback to the Ranger lineage with Merrill's Marauders. For those of you who do not know, before YouTube, I was in the Army in the 75th Ranger Regiment at 1st Ranger Battalion before I got blown up on my 2nd deployment by an enemy hand grenade. So got out of the Army, started doing YouTube. So that is where the Marauder name comes from. And it's also going to tie into something I'm going to be doing here in the near future, which I think many of you will find interesting, especially if you're into the whole Milsim thing. Now, with that all being said, this channel is going to be very similar to the old one, Blue Jean Operator. I'm not going away. I'm still going to be doing gun reviews, gear reviews, Milsim stuff. All the stuff that you guys originally subscribed to is going to be now on this channel right here, plus some new stuff. And with that all being said, I think that is fitting for the first official Marauder Network video to start off with a chest rig review. And what we're going to be going over today is the AWS Strike Rig, this chest rig that you see me right here, aka the Delta Force rig. Now, the reason why I call it the Delta Force rig is because it was originally designed by Delta Force back in the late 80s until it got pushed over to AWS for main production, and they've been making it ever since. And you can actually see photos of these things being worn by Delta Force guys during Operation Gothic Serpent in Somalia, all the way up into the GWOT until around 2010. I actually bought this particular chest rig from AWS outside of Fort Bragg about a year ago at the time of me filming this video. So I've been using this chest rig off and on throughout this past year, and today we're going to be going over the AWS Strike Rig, some of its history, my experience using it, the reasons why I like this chest rig, and why I think this is kind of one of the cooler options when it comes to buying a micro rig style chest rig. Even though it's kind of hard for me to call this a micro rig, I can carry a radio, water on it, 4 magazines, a bunch of pistol mags, so it's not really a micro rig, but I think it's kind of one of the first high-speed, cool guy type of chest rigs ever designed for a U.S. Special Operations unit. I know there are other more modern style chest rigs made before this, like the Pattern 83 chest rig in South Africa, which I love, but when it comes to a chest rig made for U.S. Special Operations, I think this is the first. So we're gonna get into it. Before we do, a word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Checkmate Mags. They actually make all the M9 mags I'm running in the Strike Rig right now, all 4 of them. I got these magazines way back in the day when I was in the Army from the supply room, because they were just giving these things away because Ranger Battalion used to issue the M9 until they switched over to the Glock. So they had a bunch of surplus M9 mags. I had this M9, I got this way back in the day. I needed magazines for it, so I went to the supply room and they just like gave me like about 20 of these things. I've been using them ever since, and I didn't even know that they were Checkmate mags at the time that I got them because I didn't really look at the fine labeling. But when Checkmate decided to become a sponsor of this channel, I was like, hey, let me go check my magazines, because I knew that they did military contracts, and lo and behold, about 90% of them were from Checkmate. I've been using these magazines for years. As you can see, they are well worn, but they are still completely functional. I still use them today. They don't only make Beretta magazines. If you're looking for SIG magazines, 1911 magazines, 2011 magazines, M14 magazines, Desert Eagle magazines, they have them all. So if you're looking for high quality metal type magazines, go check out Checkmate. A big thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, so going into the AWS Strike Rig. So I touched on it before. This thing was originally designed by Delta Force guys back in the late 80s until it got pushed over to AWS for production. It should be noted that this is the new gen version. This is the one that is currently produced by AWS. So you can buy this exact chest rig right here off of AWS's website. I bought this right out of their store. So it should be noted that if you're into that more historical Delta Force LARP, you might need to go somewhere else to find a more historical based reproduction. I know Squadron Sew Shop is one of the places that you can get more historical versions of this thing. This is actually very similar looking to the original one. There's a couple different versions out there. There's a Gen 1 version, which is more of a nutria brown color, so very similar to the Pattern 83 chest rig, because that is like one of the main colors that was available back in the 1980s when it came to a more coyote brown style color. So it's nutria brown back then, and that was the one that I'm pretty sure was made in the rigger shed over at Delta Force. And then you had the Gen 2 version, which had slightly different buckles and it had a slightly different pouch layout. And then you had this one, which is the Gen 3, where the pouch layout is actually very similar to the Gen 1 version, but again, it's slightly different. So if you're into that more historical CAG LARP or Delta Force LARP, you might want to go to a more historical base reproduction. Now, going into the layout of this chest rig, as you can see, it is an X harness type chest rig, and I'm wearing it over body armor. This is pretty much how they wore it back in the day. I know with the Gen 2 version, it had buckles right here, so a lot of people were kind of concluding that this was originally meant to be clipped into body armor, and that's how they were doing it, but that is not really the case. There's not a lot of source photos of any of them. I don't think there's any source photos of guys clipping it into their body armor like a more modern style chest rig. This does not have Velcro in the back, so if I was to unclip this thing right here, as you can see on the back here, there's absolutely no Velcro because this was made before the time of clip-on chest rigs. So not really sure if they were actually clipping it into their body armor back in the day. I think you totally could if you weave the straps through your body armor or something like that, but pretty much everyone was just wearing it over like I'm doing right now. Now, it should be noted that they weren't wearing this particular plate carrier. This is from Javelin Concepts. I just thought wearing this chest rig over a black plate carrier was kind of a vibe, kind of that old school Delta Force vibe, especially with the high vis flag on here. This is from Marauder Threadworks, not my company, but my buddy makes these patches and I thought it looked pretty sick. And I was wearing this chest rig over it pretty comfortably, especially for an X harness. What's really cool about this chest rig is it has the adjustment straps right here in the front. I have it taped down right now just to kind of keep it in this sizing to be worn over body armor. But if I undid this tape right here, I can quickly adjust this to be worn as a standalone chest rig. Now on the back here, as you can see, I have a back strap, so not much to write home about. And as you can see, the general shape of the chest rig is just a rectangle of 1000D Cordura. I personally prefer 1000D Cordura over 500D because it feels a little bit more bomb proof. So I like the feel of this chest rig. It definitely looks like a chest rig that was made in a rigger shed. Kind of gives you that more old school look, and I enjoy the fact that they stuck with this even in the new production ones. Can a rigger make me a chest rig? Now moving over to the front of the chest rig, which is where the meat and potatoes of this is. I've already went over it before. As you can see, I have 4 pistol mag pouches right here. Sometimes I put pistol mags in here. Sometimes I put multi-tools and things like that. I'm not really a pistol mag on chest rig type of guy. This is not my first choice when it comes to designing. If I was to design a chest rig, is to put a bunch of pistol mag pouches right here on the front. So kind of questioning that choice. Maybe their SOP back in the day was to carry an excess amount of pistol mags on them. Maybe pistols a little bit more important to a Delta Force operator than a Ranger. So maybe that's the reason why I'm having a hard time kind of comprehending it. So you have 4 pistol mag pouches right here, but I think this would be kind of cool if you didn't want to wear a bunch of pistol mags on your belt, or maybe you have some other stuff that you need to carry on your belt like explosives and grenades and things like that. Moving the pistol mags up to your chest might be a good idea, but that is how this chest rig is designed and has been consistent across pretty much all the variations of this thing. Now moving behind the pistol mag pouches, you have 4 rifle mag pouches. The 2 center ones right here do not have a flap that go over it, so they are unsecured. There is some retention right there, especially when you have pistol mags inside of here. When you lose the pistol mags, these things become a little bit looser. I would recommend putting a Kydex insert inside of here, like a Haley insert, which I have done in the past, to kind of give it a little bit more retention. So if you want a chest rig that's going to give you a fast draw when it comes to your rifle reloads, this one is going to be really fast because there's not a ton of retention. I mean, they're going to hold them, but if you're going to be doing any serious stuff when you're crawling through or crawling under stuff, you could have a chance of losing these things. And it should be noted that if you put a Kydex insert inside of these two center ones right here, you're going to lose your ability to run a pistol mag inside of here because there's not enough space. Now, that's not an issue when it comes to these pouches right here because it has the flap that goes over it that's going to secure your magazines. But these center ones right here, again, I would prefer that they had a little bit more retention to them, or if there was some like elastic that went over it to kind of squeeze down on the magazine right here. So if you're not running a Kydex insert inside of them, you're going to have a good chance of losing these magazines. As you can see, one just fell out right there, and that is with two pistol mags kind of giving it a little bit of tension inside of the pouch right there. But if I was to lose these things, it would probably fall out even faster. Now, as you can see, I have metal type magazines in here right now, which in their nature are going to slide out easier. But if you're running Magpul mags, they're gonna stick in there a little bit better. I also ran AK-74 type magazines inside of this chest rig. I took this exact one out to a carbine course in Arizona while I was running my crank. So I ran this chest rig on the second day, and it ran those AK-74. They're actually 5.56 AK mags perfectly fine. But when it comes to 7.62 by 39 AK mags, this chest rig is not designed for it. But AWS does make a version of this chest rig that is specifically designed if you're running an AK. So if you're running an AK, buy that version. But if you're running an AR or a 5.56 or 5.45 type of AK, you can run it in this chest rig. Now, moving over from the magazine pouches, you have these two large pouches on the outside. And these are originally designed to be ran with the Motorola MX300 radios that they're running back in the day. But as you can see, it runs this AR-152 radio perfectly fine. I'm actually selling this radio in conjunction with Ready Radio as a full kit, which includes this radio, the antenna, the trucker mic, as well as a radio pouch, which I'm not running the radio pouch right now because I have these right here. So this fits this radio perfectly fine right here. If you're looking for this radio in the complete kit, I have a link down in the description. And on the other side, which has an identical pouch, I am running this right here. This is an ice flask, which is 500 milliliter water bottle, which is designed to be ran in various different pouches, like radio pouches and things like that, but it also comes with its own specific wing that you're supposed to put inside of a plate carrier, which I have in another setup, which will go over here in the near future. But right now I'm running it inside of this radio pouch, and this is pretty much the exact same setup that I was running at that carbine course in Arizona, but instead I was running an AK. Well, that's about it, guys, when it comes to going over the AWS Strike Rig. It's pretty simple chest rig, so there's not a ton to say about it. It's a really cool chest rig because of the historical context and the people that were using it. Delta Force from the late 80s into the 2000s. I think this is still a very viable chest rig. It's become one of my favorite chest rigs if I'm trying to grab something just to use up here at the range. But I've also taken this thing out to Milsom West. I've taken this thing out to a carbine course and ran AK mags out of it. So I think it's a very good chest rig even in today's day and age. And I think if you're looking for something that has a little bit more historical zest to it than just a cookie cutter micro rig, I think this is a pretty good way to go. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. It's very important right now. Tell your friends that all the Blue Gene Operator content is now here on the Marauder Network. And if you want to support me also, got Patreon, still on Blue Gene Operator, but it helps me buy guns, gear, ammo, all the kind of stuff that goes into running a gun channel, and it'll get you access to videos a little bit earlier than everyone else. But hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.